Hello again. This is an introduction for your first unit of the class, Education 391. It's about children's and young adult literature. For this unit, you're to read several of the chapters of your textbook, Children's Literature Briefly, and at the same time, Pig Boy, Rapunzel, and 3 choice books, minimum 3 choice books. These are the ones that you're exploring for your annotated bibliography and really all of the upcoming activities. To use a not so great phrase, we're going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The very unit activities are the ones that will help you write your annotated bibliography. You might also be wanting to tackle the upper kid novels, also the teenage and the middle school novels, so you're not piled up with 10 of those at the last week or 2 of class. A lot of the textbook, this unit of activities focuses on the term engagement, what engages an individual reader to click with a book, and that's really an individual choice. We engage with music, we engage with literature, we engage with artwork or a movie if we can find some meaning in it, and if we can empathize with the protagonist in the case of story. So perhaps think beyond the box and don't try to find books perhaps just for kids in your school or kids that live near your hometown or where you expect to teach or be a librarian. Rural kids can relate to inner city kids. Our needs are pretty much universal. Our challenges in life can be pretty universal. Family relationships can be pretty universal. So try to think beyond the box that you have to find, wherever you're taking this class, kids that are growing up in your hometown. On the other end of the spectrum, the upper age books, even though we're focusing on young kids' books in this unit, try to choose books that the protagonist is the age of the reader. There's wonderful books that are written for adults, targeted for adults, like perhaps The Kite Runner, which is a fairly controversial book for high schools, but for a particular reader, you might want to suggest, with an okay with their parents, something like The Kite Runner. But other than a very short period in the book is about adults. Those are the protagonists in the book. So I challenge you, and I'll help you with this, as can any librarian, to find books with teen and young adult protagonists as you begin to get into those. But back to the children's books, the picture books that we're going to focus on in this unit. Again, we're going to talk about that concept of engagement. We're going to talk about that concept of quality, which I hope is developing for you in this course, and appropriateness. You're the one that gauges quality, appropriateness, and for yourself, engagement. I can't tell you that. That's something that we want you to think about this semester, so you become the expert when you're done with this class, and of course developing that throughout your life. I want to give you a cautionary note about activity number 8. Please read the activity carefully and the introduction in the textbook to that activity, or the section of that textbook. The authors are actually kind of teasing you or being cynical in a list that they give you of choosing books for children. It's on page 9 through 10. These are things they don't suggest. For example, one on the list is something to the effect of, it teaches a good moral lesson. The best books teach a good moral lesson. And that might not be on your list of a quality book or an appropriate book. You don't have to agree with what the textbook authors say, but pick a few that you disagree with or you agree with and try to state why. You become the judge of good and appropriate, again, as you progress in life and progress as a leader of children and young adults. But do be careful that you read that question carefully. Activity number 8. As you get further into the unit, you'll see that we've not only looked at content standards in the state of Montana that have to do with literature, not literacy or reading. That's not a course to teach you about that, although totally related. Look at the content standards it says early in the unit on literature. And then when we get further into this unit, it asks you to look at the content standards in visual and media literacy. Oftentimes, we don't judge a book by the quality and the appropriateness of its illustrations. And we need to really take a look at this in the next couple of units, well, the whole class really, when we're analyzing picture books as well as graphic novels or novels with a few illustrations in them, say beginning each chapter. So I'll stop right there, and I'll come back and explain the rest of Unit 2 in just a few minutes.